Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and taking the time this week. Here we are right before the weekend on Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and you're sitting with us for the next 50 minutes to an hour here learning and pivoting, right? Because we all want to change our business for the better, right? And leverage whatever tools and technology that's available in our industry to speed things up, right? To change cycle times, to get you paid faster, to get your consumers a policy faster. That's the name of the game. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to give you the 100-foot overview of our latest two platforms that are hosted. And in fact, we have three guest speakers on today from PSG MIB that are going to be joining us in about 10 to 15 minutes here. So great stuff to come. This will change the way you operate and run your business. I promise you that. Both tools are complementary if you're an active Levinson agent, which I know most of you are. So very exciting stuff. You are way ahead of the competition by leveraging these two tools and everything else that the eGenius platform has to offer. So you're at the right place. Before we jump in, I just want to talk about real quick personal story. And I just think it's so important that if you're in our business in any way, shape, or form, it doesn't matter if you're on the tech side, the vendor side, the IMO side like Levinson, or if you're an agent selling on the street or from your third bedroom, whatever the case is, it's all about passion, right? And I just feel like when you believe in what you do and you've actually seen or hand delivered a death benefit check and seen the face of a spouse that just lost their husband or wife, and now these two or three or four kids can, live their life and go to college, and it's all because of you, right? It creates, and you should have a passion, a sense of urgency to bring up life insurance, right? And that's why you're in this business. Yes, of course, you have to make an income along the way, but the passion has to be there. And I'm just going to tell you a quick personal story. So, and you talk about passion and you talk about how things change, especially in this day and age, and the time that we're living in right now is just crazy. So if you were at our expo, okay, and I can talk about it now because it turned out to be a great story. But if you were at our expo, I had a girlfriend of mine with me at dinner the night before, who's about 37 years old. And we're at dinner and we're all hanging out, and we have our carrier host there. In fact, the guys that are speaking today were at the dinner as well. But I was with a young woman friend of mine, and long story short, we've known each other for years and years. And she says to me about 4 weeks ago, she says, Bill, I have a daughter who's 13 or 14, and I really need a life insurance policy. I never looked into this. So, we have a local agent that we work with here, and I got him involved and sent her an IUL quote. And, of course, preferred best. She's perfect height and weight, no issues, blah, blah, blah. Everything's fine. And she never sent back the application. And, I was just curious. And I said to her, Barb, I said, listen, I said, I know our agent spoke to you, and I was just curious. He never got the application back. Did something happen? And she said, Bill, I just got diagnosed with lymphoma, with a blood cancer. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm, saying to myself, obviously, I'm not going to bring up the life insurance policy right now, and I'm just trying to get her help and introduce her to doctors. And her life got turned upside down in a second. Okay, I mean literally in a second. So I'm calling everybody I know, and I have my mentor is every Cleveland clinic in the country. The orthopedic center is named after my mentor, Jeffrey Levitet. So I reached out to him first and said, Jeff, you got to make some calls. We need a great oncologist to help my friend. Like, this is crazy. So anyway, she got her biopsy and went to all these appointments and met with these doctors. I mean, it was crazy. She was thinking, that's it. Her life is over. There's zero life insurance policy in force. Yes, she's a successful independent woman who's doing great. But obviously, the life insurance policy would have been crucial, right? Especially so her daughter can keep moving forward, God forbid, if she didn't make it. So, anyway, I just got a text probably 7 minutes before I jumped on this webinar. And I said to her, hey, just checking in to make sure everything was okay. And she wrote back and said, I just got a call. This is word by word verbatim. I just got a call from the doctor. She got the biopsy results. It's not cancer. Praise the Lord. So everything turned out great. And that's why I wanted to share this story, because what I wanted to speak about was just the passion and how important it is for you all to spread the word, spread the message, and how important it is to have a life insurance policy. You know, let's say, God forbid, this girl, right, passed on, and she's got this young daughter, and no one to look after her daughter, by the way, okay, and didn't have a life insurance policy in force. Things would have been totally different, right? The outcome would have been different. So at the end of the day, remember why we do what we do each and every day for everybody on this call. And it doesn't matter if you're a vendor, if you're an agent, if you're an IMO, an MGA, it doesn't make a difference. We're all trying to do the same thing at the end of the day, and that's help these families, right? And then make a living in the meantime. That should be your focus. So anyway, you got to share these stories, and that's why I wanted to share this story with you all real quick. So anyway, back to the presentation. And by the way, and I didn't want to, start this off on a bad note or anything, but again, if you want to walk away with a nugget or two, take down these notes and put on the very top of the page passion, drive, why I do what I do. And everybody should feel this when you're talking about life insurance, right? Because it's a game changer. It changes a child's life, literally, and a spouse. So it's so important. Okay, let's jump right in here. So what we're going to do at the end is we're giving away an Apple iWatch at the end of the presentation. So make sure you're on. We're going to ask a question that has to do with the slides we're going to go over. We're going to announce whoever answers first incorrectly at the end. And we'll also put this on Facebook, and you win an iWatch if your name is called and you answered first. That simple. Okay, what we're going to do is I have a couple slides here. We're going to talk about the two new eGenius tools that are game changers for you, right, to help these consumers and help you supplement your income, which is the name of the game and the story today. So let's jump right in, Andrew. By the way, one of the tools we just launched on our Levinson mobile app, so that's pretty cool. So a Sunday afternoon, you're on the go and you need to quote someone and sign them up with an e-app or drop ticket. You can do everything in less than 10 minutes right from your mobile app. Okay, and that's a free download, by the way. Okay, real fast, what we wanted to do as well was have a new exciting contest where everybody could be a winner in August. In fact, actually starting now, we're going to end at the end of August. Very, very simple, okay? You write your first app ever with Levinson. We don't care if it's life, annuity, Insure Me Now Direct, all the above. Write an app. When it places, you get your choice of the Apple iWatch or the AirPod Pros. Okay? You pick. Whichever one you want, you get it as soon as the policy passes the free look. That simple. Okay, that's above and beyond our entire value add platform. Okay, most of that is free, by the way. So take advantage and leverage this stuff. And by the way, on the life side, minimum premium of $85 per month. On the annuity side, minimum of $100,000 FIA. Okay, let's keep moving along here. I don't want to take up too much time. We have a lot to talk about. So real fast, Insure Me Now Direct, which I know everyone is familiar with by now. We have new carriers, new products that are being worked on as we speak. Okay, the goal is, and as you know, right now, this is the only Amazon type of life insurance platform, right, where it's 100% direct to consumer, but you, the agent, still get paid full commission plus renewals on some products. Okay, so everything from life, DI, accidents. We're also going to be adding health insurance products soon with the addition of our new health insurance department. Plus, we just came out with a new campaign on the bottom right corner called Revenue Booster. This is a turnkey kit that allows you to work with P&C agencies and health agencies where we can create their own, call it like an Amazon storefront just for that P&C agency or health shop, okay? They can market this to their entire database, all of these insurance products, and everything that sells, you are the agent of record. And you get paid full commission and renewals, and you can work something out with that P&C owner or a health shop owner. Okay, that's totally up to you, but we have all the material to get you started today. I would be running with this stuff. Okay, especially at a time like this when everyone is scared in this country, right? Because of COVID, because of everything else going on. There's no better time than now, okay, to launch this stuff and get it out there. Okay, let's keep moving along here. Okay, real fast, what's new at Levinson? So if you've known us for a long time, you know we never just sit there and coast. We are constantly pivoting, constantly pushing the envelope with technology. In fact, that's why we have this call today, right? Because we are not just one of these IMOs that, in fact, you're seeing it all over the news and online and the internet. Everyone's getting acquired and bought up, and some hedge fund from a third world country owns the IMO now. No, we're still family owned and operated and always will be, okay? And we're constantly taking about 2/3 of our override and putting it back into our value add platform to help make doing business easier for you all, okay, by leveraging our platform and tools. So we're always going to stand for that. That's been our model since 1972, and it's only getting bigger and better. That's why we're always out there pushing the envelope, and you'll hear us talk about this on the webinars and podcasts, all the above. So very, very important to us. In fact, if you see something pretty cool out there that will help you in business and marketing, let us know if we don't have it already. And we'll look into it and do our due diligence. Okay, we have new carrier incentives on the left side, new carrier and product updates in the middle section, and then on the right-hand side, everything new that's coming here to our home office in South Florida. So very important stuff. We're going to include this in the thank you email that will go out to all attendees before we leave tonight. Okay, so everything will be included, and just pay attention to, obviously, the new health department is going to be huge. Carrier incentives, that's a brand new contest with AIG, in fact, 5% on IUL, and then the annuity contest, a bunch of new things here that you got to pay attention to, because, again, this will help you plant the seed and change your business for 2022. All right, let's keep moving along. What I want to do next is introduce three friends of mine that I've known for many, many, many years. In fact, if you were at our expo, you probably met Paul and Bill. Jeff wasn't there this past expo, but he's been there at the prior events. So real quick, what I want to say first off is they're not just Paperless Solutions Group, okay, which is part of MIB, is not just another vendor pushing technology. This is different. This is like a family, okay? Everything that Levinson stands for is exactly what PSG, Jeff, Paul, and Bill stand for. So it's like one big family, and I just want to introduce them real fast. And then Jeff is going to take the wheel for a second, and then Paul and Bill are going to jump into the new tools that are literally available this afternoon. So very exciting stuff. Jeff, are you there, buddy?
I am. Thank you for inviting us. And I will tell you, as I hear all about all these new exciting things on Sure Me Now Direct, as you know, we've been partnering with you in quite some time. In fact, I still remember our first meeting in Las Vegas where you hatched this idea many, many years ago.
Yep, that's right. I'll never forget it.
We've come a long way. And as you said, you've got these new things going on that are going to be available soon. So we've really enjoyed partnering with you on those. So really what we're here today is the eGenius items, which Bill mentioned early on. You know, one of them is going to help you improve your quote process. Another is going to help you improve your connections with getting that case, keeping that case moving, while it's in the underwriting process. So these two new eGenius platforms that Bill's bringing to you, I think hopefully you'll find are as useful, if not even more effective in your day-to-day business than outside of the Insure Me Now Direct platform, which is also wonderful. So with that in mind, I want to say thank you from PSG. We've enjoyed this partnership, and I'll turn it over to Bill to talk about that.
You got it. And this is Bill Wallace, not Levinson. So just to clear up things there. And I just want to go back to a couple things that Bill Levinson said, which I think are very important. And it is back to this, synergy and community that we do want to create. Sometimes as vendors, we look at, hey, we need to cut a deal with a carrier or an agency. Sometimes we don't look at who this really values, and that is down to the consumer, to the policyholder eventually. So the tools that we're building just make it easier to place this business, because we know with the delays and the progress of an application, people can get tired and say, I'm just not going to do that. What we want to do is make that more efficient as you go along, so that you're placing more business and really just helping out everybody that needs insurance, bottom line. So what I am going to talk about today is the eGenius Underwriter. And I'm just going to quickly go through this slide. I think everybody knows what the issues are out there, but we do have field underwriting and field underwriting guides that are out there. But as you go through, the difficult part about trying to place a case, you can get a quote anywhere, right? But quote with what the health information is a little bit more difficult. Because there's multiple underwriting guides out there from carrier to carrier. They change them all the time. Does your client have multiple impairments or comorbidities? And once you get to that point, you've got to decide, hey, am I going to do a quick quote or an informal? And whether it's from the distributor side of things or the carriers, that's a lot of wasted time and money to do that. And what we want to do is reduce the number of quick quotes. And the way that we like to talk about it is really moving that to the left in the process and clarifying it up front. So if you've got a client with a specific issue, what the carrier may rate them at, or even if that client may not be a candidate for the insurance side of things, maybe they should be taking a look somewhere else. So it gives you that clarity up front. And then ultimately, it's going to take you to, hey, let's get this placed. So what we do with the eGenius Underwriter is we take the applicant questions, we build them, and ask you to get some of the underwriting rules or questions put in place, put it through evaluate, and the eGenius Underwrite, and then you're going to get better quotes, and you're going to place more policies. So with that, let me go ahead and I am going to open that. And if you can let me know if you see my screen at this point.
Yeah, we can, Bill.
All right, sounds real good. All right, so now I am in the eGenius Underwrite tool. And what you're going to see is, hey, maybe I've seen this before from a quoting tool or something along those lines, but there's a couple differences that you're going to notice very quickly. One, it's dynamic. So as you put in information, the results on the right-hand side are going to change, dependent on the carrier and rating class. The other points that you're going to see is you have the ability to put comorbidities. You do have multiple impairments within the system. So it really is a next generation product that you're going to be utilizing here. So I'm just going to step through very quickly, give you a demo. Hey, I've got a male. I am 5'10". Let's say I'm 180. All right. And you'll see on the right hand side, hey, everybody's still pretty good. Super preferred or preferred plus or whatever it may be. Like, hey, wait a second. What if my guy is 280? All right, on a dynamic basis, you're going to see that these carriers, now you're table 1, and you can go all the way down and take a look at the list of carriers that are available to you in this, all the way down to a refer to Underwriter, or hey, maybe they're a decline. Now, if I go back to, okay, my simpler one here, all right, my individual is pretty clean, although I do know that he may be diabetic. All right, and he has diabetes. When I click on this, on the left-hand side, you're going to notice that I've got a new tab that's going to drill down deeper into the diabetes side. You're also going to notice on the right-hand side that some of these carriers and their table ratings have changed. So if I've had neurop, oh, that's not a good thing, right? A lot of people are just going to say, rule that out. All right. Just to further give you an example, if it's type 1, these are the folks. Look, Securian may be a good carrier to take a look at. There could be others that are still in play here. And this is what we want to do with the tool. It's really give you an idea up front of how or who you should be taking a look at, and not making you go back to either your field underwriting guides or have to push it through somebody else in order to determine, okay, what companies, what products I should be taking a look at. And as we talked about previously, those delays are not going to benefit anybody. It's time and resource on your side. It is frustrating to the client. So this will speed up the process. It will get you a lot of information up front of who you should be talking to carrier-wise, what you should be doing moving forward, and give you a better idea of what is moving forward. After, and I'm not going to go through every one of these questions, but after you go through all these, the nice part about this is you can get down to a summary page. And with that summary page, you can quickly view that quote. So this is all the information that I have put in on that quote. You can save this, it's a PDF. You can save it down to your AMS or whatever you're using for agency management. The other nice part about it is you can email it to anybody. So if you do have a carrier in mind that you may want to submit this to, you can email it to them. If there's another case manager that you want to forward it on to, you can do that as well. It's very flexible in that regard. So there's, again, a lot of great information you can capture up front. I think what I would kind of close this with, it's beyond just a quoting tool and beyond just a rough estimate. It's really allowing you to get a little bit deeper into the conversation, allow you to ask the appropriate questions of your client as you're talking to them, and move forward from there. So with that, I am going to hand it over to Paul Carter to talk about what we are doing on the e-requirement side. And Bill Levinson, if you have any additional comments or questions, let me know on that side.
No, I just want to say real fast, I know we're getting some questions coming in from the Q&A pane. Please fire away. We want to hear from all of you, and we're going to answer every single question and comment that comes in as soon as we wrap up. Okay, we have a lot of info to cover, but yes, please ask away. And also, everything that Bill W. just touched on is available on our site today and through the app, okay, on the fly. So it's literally seconds, okay, and it's a click away, and you're ready to go and get started, and then send that to, of course, the prospect, or turn your phone around, literally, and show them the best results for their situation. So, and oh, by the way, this is available with most of our core carriers. We're going to send out the list in our thank you email today. Both tools have most of our core carriers already up and running, and more to come. So if you want to make note of that. Okay, sorry about that. Paul, if you want to jump in, and Bill, thank you for that.
Hello, this is Paul, and I'm very pleased to welcome you on behalf of the Paperless Solutions Group to this demonstration of the utility and workflow of the PSG e-requirement platform. You may be painfully aware that 25 to 50% of applications to carriers are routed back to the producer because some additional information is required in order to process that application. It could be that new information about the proposed insured has come to light, and that requires clarification. There simply may have been a typo, or more commonly, an omission to a required field. Simply put, e-requirement allows the user to quickly and securely gather the needed information along with PSG's ClickWrap e-signature within a running average of 3.2 days from the first keystroke to signed and ready to forward back to the carrier. All this efficiency gained, by the way, regardless of how the original app was taken down. It may have been processed through PSG's eDirect or the virtual insurance sales system. It may have gone through the workflow of one of our competitors. It may have even been blue ink on paper. Regardless of origination, e-requirement by PSG is your most direct route to getting your application back on track. So let's go through the workflow on how you can do just that. First, the user must log into a password-protected website. Then they'll enter a back office that looks something like this. In order to start a transaction, the user must simply click on Request Forms. You might notice a yellow circle around the cursor as I move the mouse. Additionally, you might notice a tiny mouse that appears whenever I click. Those are attributes of the video capture software I'm using, and these are not features that will be found on any Paperless Solutions platform. Next, the user will select the appropriate carrier. For this demo, I'm going to be using Legal & General Banner Life. PSG highly recommends the user select a state from the drop-down menu. If no state is selected, the user will have to cull through every form in the library for that carrier, which is a lot to go through. If you select a state, for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to select Florida. The user will then have access to every general and state-specific form for the carrier in question. Next, the user will select the form or subset of a form that the carrier indicated requires more information. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to be selecting the aviation questionnaire. Next, to make sure it's included in the transaction package, I'll click on Add Form. Next, I'm going to take the option to add a custom questionnaire to the transaction package. There'll be more on how you interact with the custom questionnaire a little further down in the demo. The next zone of the form requiring the user's attention is where you'll fill in the client name, the client email address, and if applicable, the policy number and case number. A reminder again that e-requirement can be used regardless of how the original application was gathered, so the information for those fields must be input manually. To save time on this demo, I'm going to be allowing my browser to fill in the fields with things it's remembered from prior sessions. Obviously, on a real case, this would not be advisable. The last zone on the screen is where you'll enter the answers to questions the proposed insured might be asked in order to authenticate themselves after they've received the email. PSG strongly recommends you fill in at least 2 of these fields for reasons that will be more apparent a little further on in the demonstration. The user will then click on Request Forms. The subsequent screen is a graphic user interface representing word for word exactly what appears on the current compliant form for the carrier in question. Any fields requiring the proposed insured's interaction or input can be highlighted. This is done quite simply by double-clicking in the field, and you can highlight it. In order to deselect any field, you would simply double-click again and remove the highlighting. For the sake of brevity in this demo, we're only going to highlight 2 fields. In a more typical scenario, almost certainly a larger number of fields would need to be highlighted for the proposed insured to attend to. As always, it's a good idea to scroll down and make sure there's no other fields that need interaction. To proceed to the custom questionnaire, click Next. A while back, one of our high-volume users realized that a notable percentage of the time the information that was needed was not part of a filed form. So they asked us if we could add a custom questionnaire. Our teams collaborated to develop the 6 options that compose that library. The first option available to you is labeled Free Text. And as you would assume, free text is a blank white field where the user can write as long of the question as is needed, and the proposed insured can reply at whatever length is required. The next 5 templates can be used as is for the topics listed, or by clicking on the Edit button, you can edit that template to suit your needs. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to use the prescription template. You'll notice that there's a blue area with the text in white. If you start typing the name of the medication, it will automatically be inserted into that space. For this demo, I'll insert Lipitor. Next, I'll click on Save and Continue. The following screen informs you that the email went out to the proposed insured, in this case John Doe, to the email address you entered earlier, in this case mtdemo@gmail.com. For the next part of the demonstration, we're going to assume the role of the proposed insured. The first of several affirmative steps by the proposed insured occurs when they log into their email account, and then of course again when they open the email from the person that was wielding the tool. In most cases, the email will look very much like the one you see here. The email informs them that in this case, Banner Life Insurance Company has prepared documents for their application and they need to be completed and signed. The proposed insured does so by clicking on the link where they'll next authenticate themselves by correctly answering one of the questions related to the answer or answers that were filled in by the user of the tool earlier in the process. The answer to the authentication question must match exactly what was input by the person initiating the transaction. For instance, entries are case sensitive, or in this instance, must match the formatting of the original answer. If the proposed insured has difficulty matching that answer, they can swap the question by clicking on the word change inside the parentheses. That is a hyperlink that allows them to change the question. When the proposed insured's answer matches the input by the original user, the system will authenticate them and allow them to enter the graphic user interface. The proposed insured will then interact with the same screen that was used prior. They will input their information in the highlighted fields. After scrolling down to check for additional highlighted fields, the user will click on Next. In this scenario, the next screen presents the question that was optioned earlier from the custom questionnaire. The proposed insured will enter their response. In this case, acting as the proposed insured, I'll enter "not needed," changed diet, and started working out daily. They then click on Save and Continue. The system then merges the data input thus far with the current compliant form for the carrier in question. When the proposed insured is ready to sign, they will click on Next Signature to be navigated directly to the part of the form where their click-wrap e-signature will be embedded. They will then click on the highlighted Sign button. Right away, their electronic signature is embedded, in this case reading digitally signed by John Doe with the date, the time, the IP address through which the signature occurred. In this scenario, by clicking Next or Next Signature, they will proceed to the custom questionnaire, where they can review the content of the document before signing to affirm its veracity. Next, they must click on Finished, highlighted in yellow at the top of the screen. This locks in all the information gathered thus far, as well as their electronic signatures. The subsequent and final screen for the proposed insured informs them that they have completed the requested forms. The Download Forms hyperlink renders the PDF and enables review and archiving by locally saving or printing the documents that were rendered on the phone, tablet, laptop, or desktop computer. In the third and final segment of this demo, we will return to the role of producer, or perhaps case manager at a carrier. After navigating into the eRequirement back office to review their transactions, or perhaps after receiving email notification that a proposed insured has signed and completed a form set, the user can see every transaction started in the current calendar month by clicking on the View Request link. When that screen resolves, a detailed report appears noting, amongst other things, the start date, the client name, the carrier company name, what form or forms were involved in the transaction, the status of the transaction, and, if applicable, the signature date. You'll also note on the very far right is a column labeled Done. This is a checkbox that can be used to designate whatever done might mean to you or your workflow. If you elect to use this feature, you can filter what appears on the screen by a given status. For example, filtering by Not Done, you will see only the work that's in the greatest need of attention. Under the heading Client Name is a column of names, each a hyperlink to that specific transaction management screen. If the form in a given transaction has been signed by the proposed insured, then your options are limited to viewing the PDF via the Download Requested Forms hyperlink, or the link to download the e-signature log, which displays a PDF containing the XML code of the events of the e-signature ceremony. If you click on a client name with the waiting status, you'll find a greater number of options. The option most often used is the zone located in the center of the screen. This will enable you to resend the email to the proposed insured, or revise the address if needed, and then resend it. The topmost zone enables the user to edit the form data by either modifying the information that's been entered or adding to it. Equally important, you can add or remove highlighting from the graphic user interface. The bottom zone enables the user to add or subtract forms from the transaction package. The user should always be mindful to click on Save Changes to lock the revisions in, assuring they're available to the proposed insurer. That concludes this demonstration of
and your case can keep humming along rather than you waiting for them to get around to filling out a piece of paper you mailed them and sending it back to you.
Perfect.
Yeah. And Paul, if you don't mind me chiming in a little bit, because you know, a lot of this unfortunately is still done today. And to Paul's point, it is paper-based, right? So you receive a document, you have to mail it out, you have to have somebody sign it, you have to have it returned, then you have to go to the carrier. That can easily be a 3-week to to a month-long process. The delays that we're talking about, this just minimizes that. So it keeps, the cycle spinning and does it in, 3 days, not 3 weeks. And that's really where this comes, to be hugely beneficial.
I think that's spot on. Okay. Is there any other comments, guys, that you want to add before we show everyone how to get started and where everything is? Anything from Paul, Jeff, or Bill?
I think I'm good on my side. This is Bill W. Jeff, Paul?
No, I think, again, barring any questions from the attendees, I think we've shown what we can show. Again, I apologize for the issues with the email not working, but as I mentioned before, I did have to switch machines.
Oh, no problem. Okay, good stuff. And I just want everyone to know that's listening. And, we have over 21,000 agents out there. And I always say this, and it's a fact, from 17 years old to literally in their early 90s. A record case was just placed about 7-8 weeks ago now from a gentleman in his mid 80s. Okay. And he uses most of these platforms. Okay. And Facebook and our CRM tool and everything else. Okay, so I just think the main point I want to drive home here is you just have to be open to some of these new ideas, right? Some of these new strategies. When you look at something like this and what it comes down to, the Underwriter, I think that's a no-brainer, right? Because we all know it's the worst thing is to meet with someone and they tell you what their health information is and you quote them preferred best and a month later there's a standard table 2 rating. And potentially you could lose the client and they look at you like you have 4 heads. It's not a good situation to be in. So that will fix that, right? As long as the client is honest with you. Okay. And as far as eGenius requirement, right? There's outstanding forms needed all the time. If you got 10, 20 apps in underwriting, right, at any given time, there's going to be at least, I would say, a third that need the COVID questionnaire filled out, a scuba, whatever it is, right? So this allows you to click, send, track everything along the way, and then your consumer gets the message, fills it out, clicks everything online. We get a copy, you get a copy, Underwriter gets it, and you're done. Okay, so it simplifies your world. Typically, most IMOs, if they even have access to this, they charge from $3 to $5 per form. If you're an active Levinson agent, it's free. Okay, so we got to run with this stuff. We got to use it, and then there's more to come. Okay, that's the bottom line between both tools. Now I want to show you how to get started, how to get access. So if we can jump in, Andrew, and then, by the way, we're just about done, and then we'll have our question of the day. Okay, so real quick, once you are an active agent, and I know most of you are, you have full access to our website. Okay, and it's levinsonandassociates.com or carrylevinson.com. Gets you to the same place. Just click on forms and applications. You can see it has a red box around it. Okay, that's your login, and then it'll say eGenius requirement, and you're in. Or on the app, okay, if you log in after we're done to your app, literally you'll see a box on the bottom left side. It says eGenius Underwriter. You're in. Boom. That's it. That's simple. Okay. So on the right hand side, what I want to go over real quick is you're going to have a few choices. Okay. When you're speaking to a consumer on the phone, in person, obviously there's the X-ray version. Okay. And then you're going to see the eGenius Underwriter version. Totally different tools. Okay. X-rays built into the quoting engine. The new eGenius Underwriter, totally separate. Okay. And what's neat about it, it accepts most of the information about any consumer with most of the core companies built in, and all answers that you type in with your consumer are all in real-time fashion. So it's literally like comparing the latest Lamborghini exotic car to a 1980 Gremlin. Okay, it's that different. So I encourage you to check out both platforms. Very, very cool stuff. Way ahead of our time for the life insurance industry. Okay, let's keep moving. I was talking about the mobile app. So this is how easy it is. And I want everyone to literally click and put a sample client in as soon as we hang up, but go to your app, okay? And by the way, if you don't have the app set up, we're going to send out instructions today, but I want you to literally open up the app, click on eGenius Underwriter, and then the right side is what's going to pop up. Start typing away, and all your answers will show up on the right-hand side. That simple, okay? So again, if you're in your 90s or you're 19, doesn't make a difference. Everybody should be using this if you're selling life insurance, period. Okay, let's keep moving along. Bill Levinson Experience Podcast. This is the latest and greatest. I want to touch on quickly on the right-hand side. This is your family bank concept. Now, another great strategy to open doors with a new twist, right? And the twist is debt elimination for your consumer. Okay, that's simple. The strategy is using a whole life product, but they have a complete marketing platform built around selling this whole life product and platform. And they have a boot camp, very cool stuff. Levinson agents get a discount plus an incentive through Mutual Trust Life. So check this out. It's an hour interview, and by the time you're done, you'll be comfortable with the concept, and I think you're going to love this because it opens new doors. Left-hand side, you talk about being tech savvy and being ahead of the curve and differentiating yourself. This is huge. Ringy platform is a game changer for this year. So I'm just going to tell you, I don't care if you're a GA and you're recruiting agents or you're an agent looking for consumers and prospects. I would look at this and just say, okay, everybody I know, if I have a name and an email, I'm going to put them into Ringy. And what the system's going to do, it's like an automated assistant for you, okay? So every single person you know you're going to put in here, you're looking at about 15 to 25% of the consumers or prospects you put into Ringy are going to say, hey, Bill, I want to set up an appointment, and click on your shared calendar, okay? I know for a fact those are the numbers because we're doing it with agents today. Okay, and I'm hearing what agents are saying about this when they're looking at going after new prospects and consumers and putting all their stale leads in here. 15 to 25% return of people saying, I want to set up an appointment to talk Tuesday, 2:15 p.m. Works like a charm. I can't encourage you enough to check this out. 30% off for the first 6 months. Levinson agents, basically $69 a month for the first 6 months. Or we have a 2-week free trial, okay, that won't cost you a penny if you want to just check it out and see if everything I'm telling you is correct. And if not, by the way, I want to hear from you. Okay, please let me know. All right, let's keep moving along here. Future trainings, that's what you're on right now. So this is really important because we have a lot of moving parts here, okay? And like I said now for the third time, we have agents from all walks of life, you know, from Cedar Rapids, Iowa to Miami Beach, Florida, you name it, we have them, and we have to cater to everyone in the insurance industry. If they're an agent selling health, life, annuities, long-term care, DI, we need to have the best platform. So what we do is every single week we host these live trainings and we try to dissect it for you. Okay, and you can pick and choose what you want to register for, but it's our job to provide the best platform for you all. We're not just sitting back giving you a contract and saying, here's the 800 number to the carrier, good luck, you're on your own. No, we know that we have to provide the tools for you to be successful, or else we're not successful, right? If you don't write premium, we don't make money. It's not rocket science here. So anyway, we have real fast, I want to mention on the 4th, August 4th, we have our annuity consultant, Chris, that's jumping in with a quarterly update. That's important because right now with all the movement in the market, the economy, what's going on in this country, he is the top annuity investment. He's going to dive in deep on the 4th. Make sure you're on that call. On the right-hand side, I was just talking about Ringy. So what we did to simplify this for agents, we have 4-part training. This is part 3 and 4, and I'm going to be on there, and Carlos and probably Bradley, the CEO, will be on at least one, but you need to be on these trainings. And again, I don't care if it's health, PNC, life, whatever you're selling, this Ringy platform is a game changer. Okay, and by the way, go to our Facebook page, like it and follow it, and look at some of the agent comments and testimonials about Ringy and our new social media leads. Okay, I'm telling you right now, and you don't have to listen to me, okay? Listen to what the agents are saying. Okay, that's, in my opinion, the proof in the pudding. So check that out when you can. By the way, you better be following our social media pages because if not, you're not in the loop. Okay, and then on the top is Agency Automator weekly trainings if you want to dive into the free website, quoting engine, and all the above. Okay, by the way, I'm done in just about a minute and a half here, so I know we're a little early, which is nice for a change. Aflac, okay, a name everyone knows, finally came out with a final expense product that is the second most competitive final expense product in the country today, bar none, hands down. Okay, and they have the name behind it. Okay, no brainer. We have exclusive access, and we were the first ones to launch this, so you have a big head start against the competition. Okay, it's out today. Check out the commissions. The renewals are huge. More states are approved as we speak, but definitely get set up with Aflac. And then you've seen and heard all about our new lead program. Okay, there's a new one from the same vendor for final expense that's rolling out in the next couple weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. By the way, everything's included in the thank you email you will receive tonight. So we'll have contracting, we'll have all the coupons, incentives, all the above. But again, if you have any questions, reach out at any time. We're all here to help. Okay, last slide, final slide. What I want to say real quick, exactly how I started this webinar. This was my Positive Tuesday quote. And, you know, it's all about stories, right? Real stories, by the way. And you should be collecting these stories and sharing these stories via social media, okay, YouTube videos. You don't have to be a programmer to have your spouse hold up your iPhone tonight and share a story where you helped one of these families or someone, right? It could be life insurance, disability, doesn't matter. But share these stories, get them out to the masses. Because at the end of the day, right, everyone's selling over the phone. They're selling from home. They're selling virtual, right? They're not meeting you face to face. They're going to Google your name, and you need to have good stories, good testimonials, good reputation, good branding. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Okay, so make sure you remember these things. Write down some notes. I'm sure you've been through some personal experiences that you can share, right? Get it out there. Okay, I always say you don't have to listen to what we say. Watch what we do. Go to our pages. Okay, look how we market. I'm always talking about, I tell our whole marketing team, oh, you heard something great about our lead program? Tell them to put it on our Facebook page. It's so important for other agents to see. You need to be thinking the same way for your prospects. Okay, someone just collected a disability check. They're on disability, and they say, wow, this Bill Levinson's the man. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have never bought this disability policy. Put it on my Facebook page, Ben. Okay, I want everybody to see how I helped you. That's going to change your business. That's how you need to think. This is my Positive Tuesday quote, and this is the way we keep our name out there in front of all of our agents. The older I get, the more I realize how precious life is and how everything can change in just a minute. Just like we saw with my friend Barb at 37, 38 years old. Okay? Everything can change. Thank God that was a good ending to that story. Okay? But it almost wasn't. So anyway, be grateful every day. Think of how you can help more families, number one. Number two, help your own family, right? By selling more, supplementing your income. Have the best year ever. Why not? Okay, don't get caught up in all this drama and everything that people are talking about. Oh, this is the worst time ever. Okay, guess what? It's the best time ever for the life insurance industry because everybody needs it. So it's your job to get the message out there. Let's end with our quote in question. So make sure your little fingers are on your keyboard and you're ready to answer. First and correctly takes the iWatch. Okay? Okay, we're ready to go. The question of the day is, I spoke about our new iWatch contest for every single active Levinson agent. Okay? Your first application ever that you write with us, you win. Okay? Tell me the minimum premium for the life insurance application that you need to qualify. The minimum monthly premium is what to win the new iWatch? The minimum monthly premium to win the new iWatch is what? First one to answer wins a new iWatch. Andrew is going to tell me and tell all of us who won first and who was correct. Andrew, do we have a winner?
We do. Renee M. Renee M. is the first.
Renee M., congratulations, $85 minimum monthly premium. Okay, so Renee, you have a new iWatch, and everyone can win the new iWatch by writing your first app with us. Let's all have a great Thursday, okay? And let's think of these new stories, write down notes, utilize the latest technology to change your business, right? Help your clients, get policies issued faster. You get paid faster by using these free tools. It's not like we're charging a monthly subscription rate for these. This is all free, folks. Let's all have a great day. Thank you again. Thank you to MIB, PSG. You guys are our family always. And thank you to all of our agents. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary. Without you all, we'd never be here today. So that's number one. Take care, and thanks again, everyone.